இந்த விடயம் சம்பந்தமாக கௌரவ அமைச்சர் அவர்களே, நீங்கள் யாழ்ப்பாணத்துக்கு வருகை தந்த நீங்கள் உங்களுக்கு முதல் இருந்த நீதி அமைச்சராக இருந்த அலி சப்ரி அவர்களும் இதே போல யாழ்ப்பாணத்துக்கு வருகை தந்தார். வந்து அவரும் பல வாக்குறுதிகளை வழங்கி சென்றிருந்தார். இதுக்கு உங்களுக்கு முதல் அமைச்சராக இருந்த அலி சப்ரி அவரும் யாழ்ப்பாணத்துக்கு வந்து பல வாக்குறுதிகளை வழங்கி சென்று விட்டார். ஆனால் நான் நினைக்கின்றேன் அதுக்கு பிறகு விஜயதாச ராஜபக்ச அவர்களும் வந்து வாக்குறுதிகள் வழங்கியிருந்தார். நீங்கள் அந்த இடத்துக்கு நேரடியாக சென்றிருந்த நீங்கள் அந்த மக்களுடைய எதிர்பார்ப்பு என்னன்றதை அறிந்திருப்பீங்கள். தயவு செய்து அங்கே இடத்திலே போராட்டத்திலே ஈடுபட்ட மக்கள் ஒரு அரசியல் பின்னணியிலே இயங்குகிறார் என்று நீங்கள் சந்தேகப்பட வேண்டாம். அது அந்த மக்களுடைய ஆதங்கம். 17 ஆண்டுகளை கடந்தும் நீதி இல்லை என்ற ஆதங்கம். அது அந்த ஆதங்கத்தை வெளிப்படுத்துறதுக்கு அந்த மக்கள் ஒன்று சேர்ந்ததை அது ஒரு அரசியல் கட்சியோ யாருடைய பின்னணியில் இயங்குறது நீங்கள் தயவு செய்து சந்தேகப்பட வேண்டாம். அந்த ஆதங்கத்தை நீங்கள் நிவர்த்தி செய்வதாக இருந்தால் இந்த செம்மணி அகழ்வு பணிகளுக்கு அரசாங்கம் நிதி ஒதுக்கவில்லை, இல்லாவிட்டால் அரசாங்கம் இந்த அகழ்வு பணிகளை முன்னெடுக்கவில்லை என்று நாங்கள் குற்றச்சாட்டு சுமக்கவில்லை. நாங்கள் குற்றச்சாட்டு சுமக்கிறது கௌரவ அமைச்சர், நீங்க அகழ்வு பணிகளிலே கண்டெடுக்கப்படுற அந்த மனித எச்சங்களுக்கு அந்த மனித எச்சங்களை வந்து அடையாளம் காண வேணும். இஃப் வித்வுட் த டிஎன்ஏ, அந்த டிஎன்ஏ பரிசோதனை செய்யாமல் யாருடைய குடும்ப உறவினருடைய மனித எச்சங்கள் என்று கண்டுபிடிக்காவிட்டால் பிரியோசனம் இல்லாமல் விடும். அதுக்கான தேவையான வசதிகள் இலங்கையிலே இல்லை. அப்ப இந்த விடயம் சம்பந்தமாகத்தான் எங்களுக்கு உங்கள் மீது கேள்விகளும் சந்தேகங்களும் இருக்கின்றால்.
Putran Rasamanikam, your question under 27(2). What is your point of order, honorable member? We have not much of time today. Yes, what is your
standing order? අනුදෙක 27(2) second paragraph මම අපේ deputy public security minister විසිගත දෙකක් දැම්මා 1.5 month before. මට කිව්වා 2 weeks වලින් උත්තර දෙනවා කියලා. තාම උත්තර නැහැ. මේ එක පොඩ්ඩක්
we will bring it to his information. Yeah, honorable Rasamanikam, you can please.
Thank you, honorable deputy speaker. හරි සතුටුයි අද නම් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ ඉන්නත් අපේ නියෝජ්‍ය කතානායකතුමා මුලසුනේ ඉන්නකොට හරිම සාමකාමීව පාර්ලිමේන්තුව යනවා. ඉල්ලීමක් තියෙනවා ඔබතුමා හැමදාම එන්න කියලා පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ උදේවරු. ඒතකොට කිසි කරදරයක් නැතුව යයි මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුව. Honorable Minister of Justice, I'd like to raise this 27(2) question. I hope you are responding to it today. The ongoing excavations at the Chemmani mass grave site in Jaffna are a matter of significant public concern. The first site came to public attention following revelations made during the prosecution of the 1996 Krishanti Kumaraswamy murder case, when allegations emerged that civilians who disappeared during the conflict had been buried in the Chemmani area. Now, Honorable Minister, I'd also like to thank you for taking the time to go to Jaffna. You had in fact visited the site in Jaffna. You had held discussions with people in Jaffna. So thank you for that. We see that you're willing to engage and resolve this. So thank you for that. The recent excavations have reportedly uncovered more than 380 skeletal remains, making Chemmani the largest mass grave excavation discovered in Sri Lanka to date. So at the point that I wrote this question, it was 380. I think now it's gone up beyond 400. 430 according to Dr. Ramanathan Archana. Making Chemmani the largest, the scale of these findings raises serious questions regarding identification of victims, forensic investigations, accountability, and the measures taken by the government to establish the truth. In this regard, will the Honorable Minister inform this House? Number one, what is the total number of skeletal remains recovered from the Chemmani excavation site as of the latest official count? Question number two, can the government provide a breakdown of the remains recovered, including the number identified as adults, juveniles, children, infants, and the number of complete skeletons and partial skeletal remains? Number three, how many of the recovered remains have undergone forensic examination, DNA analysis or other scientific identification procedures, and how many have been positively identified? Number four, what measures have been taken to establish the identity of the victims and the cause and approximate period of death? Number five, has the government sought or received technical assistance, forensic expertise or DNA analysis support from international institutions or foreign governments in relation to the Chemmani excavation? If so, what are the details thereof? Now, Minister, this particular question, since there's a 350 word count, I couldn't go into detail. I raised this question because, as you're also aware, in 1996 during the Krishanti Kumaraswamy excavations, you are also aware that around 15 skeletal remains were sent to Scotland, and now out of the 15 skeletal remains, 2 of them were identified. Now the balance that were not identified, 13 of them, remain at the University of Lancashire. So the custodian is the University of Lancashire, I believe. So if we are really serious about identifying them really fast, all that the government needs to do is write a letter and say, can you give us expertise? And I've just concluded a trip to Europe, and there have been plenty of countries who are willing to give us financial and technical assistance if the government asks for it. And the next question, Honourable Minister, is what steps have been taken to review evidence and material connected to the original Chemmani investigations that arose following the Krishanti Kumaraswamy case, including any remains, samples or forensic reports previously sent to Scotland? Okay, it's in the question. Sent to Scotland or elsewhere overseas, and what is their current status? That is the information that I just gave before raising that question. The next question is that at a lawyers forum held in Jaffna last week, the Honourable Minister reportedly stated, I read it on the news, that you attended a meeting that comprised of lawyers, and that in that meeting that you stated that steps would be taken to advance the investigation to the next stage of identifying the recovered remains. Will the Honourable Minister therefore assure Parliament that a reputed and internationally experienced forensic institution, I hope you observe the emphasis that I put on reputed and internationally experienced forensic institution, will be engaged to assist in identifying the victims? And the final question is, what further action has the government undertaken to establish the truth regarding those buried at Chemmani and provide answers to affected families? Now, Honourable Deputy Speaker, in the Vidayam Sambandhamaha Gaurava அமைச்சரவர்களே, நீங்கள் யாழ்ப்பாணத்துக்கு வருகை தந்த நீங்கள், உங்களுக்கு முதல் இருந்த நீதி அமைச்சராக இருந்த அலி சப்ரி அவர்களும் இதே போல யாழ்ப்பாணத்துக்கு வருகை தந்தார். வந்து அவரும் பல வாக்குறுதிகளை வழங்கி சென்றிருந்தார். இதுக்கு உங்களுக்கு முதல் அமைச்சராக இருந்த அலி சப்ரி அவரும் யாழ்ப்பாணத்துக்கு வந்து பல வாக்குறுதிகளை வழங்கி சென்று விட்டார். ஆனால் நான் நினைக்கின்றேன் அதுக்கப்புறம் விஜயதாச ராஜபக்ச அவர்களும் வந்து வாக்குறுதிகள் வழங்கியிருந்தார். நீங்கள் அந்த இடத்துக்கு நேரடியாக சென்றிருந்த நீங்கள் அந்த மக்களுடைய எதிர்பார்ப்பு என்னன்றதை அறிந்திருப்பீங்கள். தயவு செய்து அங்க இடத்திலே போராட்டத்திலே ஈடுபட்ட மக்கள் ஒரு அரசியல் பின்னணியிலே இயங்குகிறார் என்று நீங்கள் சந்தேகப்பட வேண்டாம். அது அந்த மக்களுடைய ஆதங்கம். 17 ஆண்டுகளை கடந்தும் நீதி இல்லை என்ற ஆதங்கம். அது அந்த ஆதங்கத்தை வெளிப்படுத்துறதுக்கு அந்த மக்கள் ஒன்று சேர்ந்ததை அது ஒரு அரசியல் கட்சியோ யாருடைய பின்னணியில் இயங்குறது நீங்கள் தயவு செய்து சந்தேகப்பட வேண்டாம். அந்த ஆதங்கத்தை நீங்கள் நிவர்த்தி செய்வதாக இருந்தால், இந்த செம்மணி அகழ்வு பணிகளுக்கு அரசாங்கம் நிதி ஒதுக்கவில்லை, இல்லாவிட்டால் அரசாங்கம் இந்த அகழ்வு பணிகளை முன்னெடுக்கவில்லை என்று நாங்கள் குற்றச்சாட்டு சுமக்கவில்லை. நாங்கள் குற்றச்சாட்டு சுமக்கிறது கௌரவ அமைச்சர், நீங்க அகழ்வு பணிகளிலே கண்டெடுக்கப்படுற அந்த மனித எச்சங்களுக்கு அந்த மனித எச்சங்களை வந்து அடையாளம் காண வேணும். இஃப் வித்வுட் த டிஎன்ஏ, அந்த டிஎன்ஏ பரிசோதனை செய்யாமல் யாருடைய குடும்ப உறவினருடைய மனித எச்சங்கள் என்று கண்டுபிடிக்காவிட்டால் பிரியோசனம் இல்லாமல் விடும். அதுக்கான தேவையான வசதிகள் இலங்கையிலே இல்லை. அப்ப இந்த விடயம் சம்பந்தமாகத்தான் எங்களுக்கு உங்கள் மீது கேள்விகளும் சந்தேகங்களும் இருக்கின்றால் அகழ்வு பணிகளை பற்றி இல்லை.
Honourable member, can we make it short?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
The Honourable Minister of Justice.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. Thank you, Honourable Rasmanikam MP, for raising these valid questions. Yes, first and foremost, I must say, the first indications of Chemmani came at the end of the Krishanti Kumaraswamy's trial, somewhere around, if I'm not mistaken, 98, 99. But thereafter, not a single government till 2025 ever bothered to follow up on Chemmani. Only we did. Others visited, as you said, the ministers, they visited, and some of the governments, even you may have represented at some point, they never. I'm sorry. You would have been in the parliament. Sorry. But either way, none of the governments did, for 25 years till we came along. So our commitment for the cause is undoubtedly sincere, and we are also aware that our mandate that we receive from the North is not to cover up, but to do justice. And we are going to do that. So let me answer your questions, Honourable Sir. The total number of skeletals identified so far, 412. Total number of skeletons recovered, 409, as the date of 23rd of June, 2026. There are no breakdown details of skeletals. Judicial Medical Officer did not submit these breakdown details to court. These details will be available only upon completion of the analysis, which is in progress. The current investigation at Chemmani site is focused on excavations and exhumations. The forensic anthropology analysis on the human remains is yet to commence. What measures have been taken to establish the identity of the victims and the cause of approximate period of death? The possible cause of death, including if the victim has died due to a crime, will have to be identified through a forensic anthropological analysis. Ascertaining the period of death takes place through the analysis by the archaeologists and the judicial medical officers. Details will be available when they submit the respective reports. In August 5th of August 2025, the court held an identification parade of clothing and other associated artifacts that had been excavated at Chemmani, where over 200 family members attended. The CID is also investigating. The approximate period of death is to be determined through examination and analysis. Expert opinions are in progress. The government has invited forensic assistance from international entities, recognizing the experience and expertise in mass grave investigations, and is in negotiations with different embassies. The Office of Missing Persons, as an independent state mechanism, also engaged with different foreign entities and is closely working with the ICRC, among others. For example, on the 16th October 2025, the OMP collaborated with the ICRC to invite 2 experts to conduct age analysis of sub-adults training for judicial medical officers, odontologists, and anatomists at the University of Jaffna in order to assist with the Chemmani and other mass grave cases. Similarly, the Office of Missing Persons will take measures based on the requirements arisen. I can assure you that we have spoken to embassies, we have made all the local finances that is necessary for the excavation. We are on the excavation and the exhumation period. But when it comes to DNA analysis, depending on the type and the nature, we will definitely have to go for, as you said, the internationally reputed, recognized places, because some of them may not be available here. So therefore, it will be done, but depending on the requirement. And those requirements are informed to us by the anthropological team led by Mr. Raj Somadeva, Professor, and the courts. Now you're asking about the Krishanti Kumaraswamy case and that the remains been sent to Scotland. Now this matter has been taken forward by the CID, for which the OMP has no information, and I did not have sufficient time to call for this information also. However, if you can, I will point you another factor. If you can refer these questions to the Minister in charge of the police, he may be in possession of that information, but otherwise I will also look for it. Serious lack of time to get it down. About the last conference held in Jaffna, is actually I met the official bar there. I was very honored to have Mr. Sumandiran also seated with till the end of it. Yes, they also did inquire about Chemmani. Actually, when I went to the Chemmani mass graves, Honorable MP, what I spoke with Professor Raj Somadeva and the team is actually now they're in the exhumation and the excavation stage. But there's another stage we have to go to for the processing. So what I did ask them was, without waiting for the complete excavation to be over, is it possible to start the second and the third stages, for which they could not give me an answer then and there. But they did agree that the JMOs and the anthropologists, including the leader of the team, Mr. Raj Somadeva, Professor Raj Somadeva, that they will have a discussion. Because my idea was also, without waiting till one stage is over, whether we can go for the other stages. So that will be discussed. And in fact, I have the one who suggested, they said they are willing to discuss that. So, about the Lawyers Forum, as the government, we are committed to strengthening national forensic capacity in both the short and the long term, including in terms of DNA. International expertise will be involved in line with the requirements and the strategic move we are making. and strengthening the capital identification process. So we are fully aware that we don't have enough expertise here. So obviously, on the one side, we have to train our local staff. On the other hand, in instances where we have to directly contact the international experts to get help. But it will all arise. We'll do it how and when they arise. What further actions has the government undertaken to establish truth regarding those buried at Germany and provide answers to affected families? The investigations are taking place under the jurisdiction of the Jaffna Magistrate Court, and we are committed to supporting the court and the tracing and investigation team and the OMP to establish truth in the site of Germany. Obviously, one of the reasons for my visit also to make sure that things are functioning smoothly and the funds are available, because we cannot drag on this forever. But when I saw how the investigation is being carried out painstakingly with little brushes and everything, only then I realized how complicated this job could be. So as much as myself, my government, and even you as a representative, and the people are in a rush and a hurry to get things out, I do understand the time taken. But I can assure you, the truth will be found and it will be dealt with. Our government has no business covering anything up.
Honorable Shanakian Rasamanikam.
Honorable
Very
Deputy
brief,
Speaker.
Honorable Member.
Yeah, Honorable Deputy Speaker, thank you, Honorable Minister. I think it's the first time in my experience where I have raised questions that a minister has said that they are even willing to consider getting down international expertise if the need arises. Honorable Minister, I can assure you that the need is there, because I mean you can train the locals. That is excellent news, for the future, right? For the maybe if you find a mass grave in 10 years, by the time our experts, our locals have been trained, they will be able to handle it. But at present, like you very correctly said, I think we need to do this in 2 stages. Now, you have already exhumed 412 remains. Now, these 412 or 409, you said 409, 12 and 9, I don't say any, let's say above 400. So now these remains you have found. Now, how long are we going to sit around and wait before we start work on that? So, like you very correctly said, if the officials can come up with a strategy where we can take it, where we stop the excavation, rather where we draw a line where these 412, you deal with them separately, and any other future remains that you find, that you deal with them separately. But the point is, I would urge the government to use international expertise, because, Honorable Minister, these are very complex. I mean, I'm not an expert on this matter, but common sense tells me that skeletal remains from 1996 or 1998 or even prior to that would require extensive knowledge and extensive experience in identifying these. So for us to bring somebody down from overseas to get our own people trained and then for them to do this, Honorable Minister, doesn't sound like it will happen. So I think your answer also says that it's on the I feel that it's on the correct decision, but we would like for it to be expedited, because some of the members from your own party representing those areas have very little knowledge on these matters. So the statements that they make also makes things hard for you. And the final thing is also, I welcome the fact that you all have sealed the gun site camp, and that even senior military officials like the Navy commander the investigations have started again. So we welcome all that, but like I cautioned the Honorable Prime Minister a year ago also, that 40% of this government's first term is coming to an end in September. So we have to, before the honeymoon period ends, you have to get these difficult, controversial things, contagious things dealt with. So thank you, Minister.
Honorable Minister, you would like to respond to that?
Honorable Rasamanikam MP, thank you so much. I think you are saying the right things, because I am also saying the same thing, but in a different level. That is, are we going to get international expertise? Of course, yes, we are. Right? Of course, we are. But it has to be on a compact situation where the court will inform these things need to be done. Only at that point, we can figure out which international agency, which international body has the capacity and the reputation to deliver it. And that we will do. That we will do. But only when it comes to that. Secondly, you and I are on the same page on this one, for the nature of to finish it expeditiously. This is exactly the reason why, just like you suggested, I asked the team whether we could go on for the next stage, at least for the things that has been uncovered. So that is for which we are planning to have a complete group discussion whether we can do it and go forward. I can assure you one thing, whether honeymoon period or not, what we started we are going to finish. Because remember, these are things that has to be done. These are things that has to be done. And I will make sure that these things happen under my capacity as the Minister of Justice as fast as I can.
Honorable Dr. Anil Jayanta, Minister of Labour and Deputy
செம்மணி மனித புதைகுழி விவகாரம் தொடர்பாக இலங்கை தமிழரசு கட்சியின் மட்டக்களப்பு மாவட்ட பாராளுமன்ற உறுப்பினர் ராசமாணிக்கம் சாணக்கியன் நீதி அமைச்சர் ஹர்ஷன நாணயக்காரவிடம் கேள்வி எழுப்பினார்.